Hello and welcome to Bodied, a Cloud9 fancast. This week it is just me, Forzencreek. I have a cold. I had a little bit of a COVID scare last week, but I am COVID free, just sick. And Havoc has some work to do today, so it is just me. Hopefully he'll be back next week. I'm going to try and make this easy on you guys this week since I kind of feel poopy. My voice is a little off, so we're just going to run through things and try and make this as easy as possible for both of us. If you're looking for more content, as always, go check out The Dive. There's also an Evil Geniuses podcast right now who's been shit-talking us on Twitter. So if you're looking for more content this week, check out Everything Threevil Pod. I think it's supposed to be Everything Evil, but they replaced the E with a 3, so it's Everything Threevil. At everything _3vil, like evil. So I'm sure they'll have some stuff out this week. I didn't get a chance to reach out to them just because of my COVID scare, and I've just kind of been sick. So I apologize. So let's get through things. The first thing we're going to talk about is Overwatch League. The London Spitfire, I assume, are coming back at some point in time because I think they had a roster. But there has been a shakeup with that. Provide their support player has been dropped by the team for, I would say, improper conduct. It's not a pretty story, so I don't really want to go into it, but he's seemingly a bit of a scumbag. So we'll leave it at that, and hopefully we'll find a support player soon and get back on to the Overwatch League because I do kind of miss it. I haven't actually played it. I don't know when Overwatch 2 comes out yet, but that's Havoc's specialty, so I will leave it for him. But as of now, Provide is dropped, and we're looking for support. Next, we have some World of Warcraft. Your boys are back in the arena for the AWC Cup. They made a decent run up to the winners final, knocked off Kauhi. I think that's how you say it, 3-2. But they fell to Kauhi in the grand final, so they got the revenge, and we couldn't complete the first place run. So tough for the boys, but they've been having a lot of finals runs, so I guess maybe they're just the most consistent team rather than just the best team at any point in time. So hopefully by the time the big tournaments come around, the Blizzard event, the big one, they can get back into top form and catch their dub there. Next, we have VALORANT. Cloud9 White was in the VCT Game Changers event again. And yet again, they pulled through and won it all. That makes them 5-time champs. And they made this run without dropping a map this week. They beat Shopify Rebels in the final. So that's a huge win for them. I'm glad to see them still firing on all cylinders. And while I didn't get a chance to watch much, I did watch a little bit. It sounds like a lot of the other female teams are stepping up a little bit, but obviously Cloud9 White is well above the rest at this point still. So I'm not entirely sure if this qualifies them for anything special, but it is nice to see them catch another dub. The girls were super excited on Twitter, so I'm happy for them, and I'm glad that they could continue kicking some ass. And other VALORANT news, apparently the Cloud9 White head coach Dream is out. He was out, I believe, before the actual tournament, but they chose to announce it after the fact to not take away from the girls' performance. So best of luck to Dream in the future, and I'm hoping that they can find another coach to level them up for now, because they've been competing really hard with women, and I would like to see them play in some other open tournaments and beat some boys' ass too. All right, and now we are gonna move on to League of Legends. First, we have the Cloud9 Academy team, who's been playing in Proving Grounds. They fell out to 100 Thieves Academy 1-3 in a disappointing week, I would say. Malice was frustrated on Twitter about the team not getting scrims, and I guess we can drop this now, but Winsome was subbed out for Isles, so King had a new support playing with him this week, and I thought he played okay. Winsome, that is. But just overall, 100 Thieves was just a better team on the day, and it seems like they're just a better team overall at this point because they are in the lower finals right now. They are taking on Golden Guardians soon to take on Team Liquid in the finals. So hypothetically, if 100 Thieves Academy wins that game to play Team Liquid Academy, Cloud9 would have lost to the two finals teams, which, while a disappointing result overall to fall out so early, falling out to two good teams who are in the final is something, I guess, to hang your hat on, because it didn't really feel like a proving ground win this year. Not sure why. So sometimes it just be like that. All right, sorry I'm moving so fast, you guys. I'm struggling over here. My throat is in rough shape, and I'm coughing up quite a bit. So probably TMI, but I'm just trying to get through this because there is obviously some important news this week. Cloud9 beat Golden Guardians in the lower bracket of playoffs 3-0. It was pretty routine. The big news on the week is that Isles subbed in for Winsome, who I don't want to say he's been struggling, because I feel like he struggled kind of all split. So it wasn't like a form thing. It was more of just we need to win now, and we think Isles gives us the best chance of winning right now. And I think in the 3-0 versus GG, that's kind of what we saw. I felt that Isles and Berserker laned a little bit better throughout this series than they had in the past. But saying that, they were also going against Golden Guardians rather than Huhi or I'm blanking on all of this. Hansama and Core JJ. So something to keep an eye out for this week versus Danny and Vulcan. I guess it kind of felt like time maybe to try Isles with Berserker. I definitely don't think it's a long-term solution. I think that the long-term plan is still to keep Winsome, just because he's a resident by birth. So I have to imagine that is going to be the long-term plan with him. But he's obviously raw. He's hardly played professional at all. He came out of Korean amateur last year, so he obviously has a long ways to go before he's up to par. Still young, so he's still got a lot of time to learn, and I hope that in the off chance that we do get to MSI, that he is able to level up a little bit and get some game time on stage. So that would be big for him, and I hope he's not too discouraged by this news, because it does suck for him. But I think if we're trying to win playoffs right now, Isles is probably a better choice, even if he's coming in completely fresh. All right, we can talk briefly about the result. It was a bit of a team diff. Golden Guardians had some huge nocturne priority. They tried to pull some of it off, but it didn't quite work out. The highlights of the series was Fudge popping off one death, where he kind of inted on the Blanc. We also got to see some new champion picks from Summit. We saw an Ornn, so take duty. And then we also saw him pull out the Gangplank finally. About time, considering Gangplank's about to be OP as fuck. So good to see that. So I'm hoping that putting all this on film is a good preview for the rest of the playoffs, because playing the same few champions isn't going to get you very far if other teams are happy to just pick a tank and you. And I think this weekend's a perfect, or that's a perfect preview for this weekend. But I do want to quickly run through the rest of the games. Everyone played well. Isles and Berserker were solid. Blabber was solid, but Fudge was the huge winner this weekend. Popped off on the Blanc, had some huge victor games. So it was good to see him put some games into his own hands when we are going to be needing some top form mid lane performances the rest of the way out. So moving on to this weekend, it's the winners finals on Saturday between Team Liquid and 100 Thieves, which might be a banger. I don't know. They've had 2 weeks off to get used to the patch. Watch some of the other teams play on the patch. So I don't know. Favorite for that match is tough, just because I feel like both teams are good, but 100 Thieves is hot, and well, maybe hot. They destroyed us, but I think Team Liquid's likely strong enough to beat them, which kind of leads us to the losers semifinals, which is us versus EG. Winner will play the loser of Saturday's match. So our match is against Evil Geniuses at 3:30 p.m. on Sunday in Eastern Standard Time. Pretty hype match, I guess. EG gave Team Liquid a really hard-fought week a few weeks ago, so they're looking pretty tough. They weren't the best against FlyQuest, but they probably should have 3-0'd them realistically. But they had a bit of a blip in one of the games, which happens. But when I was talking about the preview for this weekend, picking some other champs and stuff top lane, we do know that Impact is happy to just pick tanks all weekend, but I'm interested to see how that's going to come up and go, because he's also happy to try and skills check Summit. Play as a Kali is probably the main one he would go to. Maybe they leave up Jace and or Gnar and pick it for themselves if they get on blue side, which would be interesting to see, since Summit has so much skill on these champions that I'm sure he can figure out how to counter them. Like Aurelia against Gnar is seemingly an unplayable matchup for Gnar. Not entirely sure. I always ban it when I play Gnar, so not really much of an issue for me yet. The jungle matchup should be pretty fun too. Inspired and Blabber. I think Blabber. This is something that Blabber should be able to win, but there's been some weird draft priorities throughout playoffs and around the world. Like Elysian, Hecarim, Volibear, just like seemingly randomly being picked. Like really early picked, like first picking Lee Sin and stuff like we've done before. But he's obviously a very good jungler at all stages of the game if you're skilled on him, and both of these junglers are, so it is going to be a high priority pick. So is Volibear. Hecarim might get through because of the nerfs, but it's can be interesting to see how this one plays out. In the mid lane, Joe Pyun is probably talking a bunch of shit already. Actually, I think he did post a tweet immediately after they beat FlyQuest saying that he's going to send Fudge back to top lane. So I'm sure he's been chirping all week, which is exactly what Fudge wants to see, I think. Hopefully we'll get to see Fudge clap back at him on stage. JoJo's not been disappointing, but he's had a lot to learn in his first split. So I I still think he's learning and that he's still probably their weak point. Bot lane we have um, Danny and Vulcan versus Berserker and Isles. I imagine. Um, I, I think the support matchup is going to be interesting just because has been with Cloud9 for so long, and Vulcan was our starting support. So I'm sure they're familiar with each other and that they've done some work together before. So I'm seeing how there's some mind games there that can possibly be played is going to be interesting. Um, I do think that Berserker is just head and shoulders above Danny. So I doubt that we play through bot lane, but if there's ever chance for us to do it, I think that this is probably the weakest bot lane that we're going to face from here on out. And that if we can get Berserker to pop off, then I think we should get on tape and get some more and try and get some more bans out. Try and save Summit a little bit because he drowned a little bit 2 weeks ago against 100 Thieves. So maybe maybe him bringing back a Phalios for ban or something would be nice. But it would also be nice to see him pick it in a game 5 when it matters too. So something interesting to think about. I think on paper this is a series that we should be able to win. I think even if Impact is able to kind of neutralize Summit and cancel them out a little bit, that I think around the map we are strong enough to be able to just beat and outscale them in a 5v5 game. Fudge, I think, has higher highs than JoJo does, especially in mid and late game. I think he's just a more experienced and smarter player overall as of right now. I think Berserker is a far more skilled AEDC than Danny is at this point in time. So I really don't see how, if this devolves into a 5v5, that we end up losing out. So I think my prediction is just going to be 3-1, which I feel like is the easy prediction to make. But it feels like a match that we should win, and we should be able to not stumble too much. But there's always those weird games like when it gets hard camped and it's a GG go next kind of experience. So we'll see how that plays out. 3-1 from me. No score from Havoc. I didn't get a chance to reach out to him today, which is Thursday morning. So if we win, we go on, I believe, to Houston next weekend, which would be super hype. They've been back in front of crowds for playoffs, and then we can get back in front of a stadium. I think that would be huge for Berserker and the boys. So let's get that dub, and we'll see you guys next week.